What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got an assortment of Seattle Seahawks news in this video, so we're just going to go ahead and spin through it kind of rapid fire style, just go through the headlines, and then in a few hours, we'll get the full practice report from today, probably, and look at that. But talking about some of the more headline grabbing items of the day. Let's lead off with probably the most important one, Ken Walker. So we did get an update about Ken Walker. It's good news, relatively speaking. It's not long term. McDonald didn't promise when he'd be back by. He didn't promise that he'd be able to play against Green Bay, but he did say that he is day to day. They're not going to be doing any more tests and that he will be back sooner rather than later. So that is definitely good news at this point. No indication that this is going to be something that takes a while for him to get clear of. No indication that this is going to be some kind of a problem going into, say, the Bears or Rams game. Maybe it's something that keeps him out against Green Bay, I guess, is possible. According to McDonald, this is through Nemhauser, by the way, on X. But that's definitely the major headline right now. We're looking good on the Ken Walker front. And McDonald did say that if he doesn't practice this week, he might still be able to play. Now, you can read into that and say, hey, he's just trying to be tricky. He's just trying to be deceptive. He's just trying to give Green Bay something to think about no matter what. But, I mean, it's definitely true that Ken Walker has been on this team long enough to where practice is not the thing that he needs as much as some other players. He doesn't need to practice in the same way that a rookie might need to practice, or a player just getting who hasn't played that much this year might need to practice. Like a guy like a Lomia, who hasn't gotten a lot of reps with the ones this year. That's a guy who probably needs to practice a good amount. Oluwatimi probably still needs to practice a good amount because he just took the starting job like a month ago. But Ken Walker, he can probably make his way through these practices minimally, if at all, and still get on the field. So if you wanted to know what's going on with the most important element of this Seahawks team that was up in the air, it seems like Ken Walker, at the very least, he's only expected to miss one more game, if that. Things can change, but they're saying he's basically clear of anything being particularly long term, which is great news. I know that I did play with the idea of him getting to rest for a couple of weeks, but he's our best running back, and we have our two toughest games coming up here. We really could use him to help us win. Okay, moving on beyond that, we also have some more injury news regarding two members of the secondary that we haven't seen in a while. Kayvon Wallace and Artie Burns have been designated to return to practice. Now, honestly, I don't know what they're going to do. Kayvon Wallace has kind of been usurped in the safety rotation. Right now, we're going full with Love, we're going full with Kobe, and then there's a little bit of Rayshawn sprinkled in. I don't think there's any opportunity for a guy like Kayvon Wallace to get snaps anymore. So I look at Kayvon Wallace and I go, you're the fourth safety now, so your special teams, and if somebody gets hurt, you might play a little bit, but it wasn't working great with him. I don't think he was playing great before he got hurt, although that may have been a side effect of other things wrong with the defense. And the Seahawks have to like what's going on right now. The defense has played great for 5 straight games. The defense has been really getting it done with the players they have. I don't know if you need to put Kayvon Wallace back out there for really any snaps. And the Seahawks have been pretty consistent about only using 3 cornerbacks for a while now. A lot of Witherspoon, a lot of Woolen, and then a good amount of Joby. And it's working. I don't think that Artie Burns, as much as Artie Burns is a pretty good player and he's nice to have around, I don't know if you need to put Artie Burns out there when you're already choosing to not put Trey Brown out there at all. Like, it's not like we have some desperate need for a fourth corner here that we can play sometimes. They seem pretty comfortable with the rotations they use. They seem pretty comfortable going 3 corner, and then they have a third safety that plays. So neither of these guys, they might not play. They might just be depth for the rest of the season. And I think that there's nothing wrong with having good depth, but I would not expect very much from any of these players. but they're good to have around, especially Artie Burns. Artie Burns is a good player for sure. The one last injury. Okay, I'm sorry. This one from Curtis Crabtree. Trey Brown inactive with a hamstring injury, which grabbed on him late in the week. They're working through that this week still. Now, Trey Brown's a player who hasn't played on defense in some time anyway, so this isn't going to be viewed as particularly impactful or meaningful. But it is worth noting that we might be losing Trey Brown when Artie Burns and Kayvon Wallace come back. Now, that's probably a pretty good trade-off. Clearly, the team is not happy with Trey Brown's play, or else they would not have essentially put him on ice. Like, he has not played a snap on defense for well over a month, I think. It has been some time since he's played anything other than special teams, and it surprises me, but they've also found something that clearly works with Joby, so I don't think that's going to change pretty much no matter what happens the rest of the year. All right, so that's all the injury stuff that we got in terms of the players that are trying to come back. We'll get plenty more injury updates later today with the practice report. Brady Henderson had this to say about the jerseys. The Seahawks are wearing their action green jerseys Sunday night against the Packers, first time all year. And they've only worn the action green, it looks like 7 times. And then they've gone green tops, navy pants 4 times. So this doesn't happen often. This is something they do once a year approximately. So if you're a jersey guy, and I'm not really a big jersey guy, I just want the team to go out there and play well and win. But if you're a jersey guy, this is a rare opportunity to appreciate the action green jerseys this weekend. So if you're a fan of such things, that's cool. And last thing I want to highlight here is something a little bit fun. Zach Charbonnet won Ground Player of the Week. I think it's the FedEx Aaron Ground Players of the Week. So in a week that did feature some difficult competition, you had guys like, Josh Allen, because now I guess they lump everything into one category now. You had Jordan Addison, you had Josh Jacobs. Zach Charbonnet was one of the winners. So he is your Ground Player of the Week after netting, 180 yards of offense, almost 200 yards of offense, and 2 touchdowns on very, very efficient numbers. It's great for him, and it's a huge credit to him that we were able to win that game the way we did. It's a huge credit to him that we were able to be as productive offensively as we were. One of the best games we played all year offensively, and Charbonnet was probably the most important reason why. If you were to narrow it down to one individual player, who else would it be? So good for Charbonnet. Congratulations to him. And that's really all the news we got right now. I'm going to see you guys later. Go Hawks. More stuff coming soon.